shooting?
Shooting Hondas today.
Hondas? I know someone that's going to be really jealous from that.
Does his name start with an N and also
ends with ads?
Ads.
Ads would be super jealous. This thing is so cool. I cannot wait to feature this. What's up, guys? Larry Chen here. Welcome to another episode of Hoonigan Autofocus. We are out here in Arizona. Where are we? What city is this?
This is considered Phoenix, but it's Tempe, Phoenix.
Tempe. We're out here in Tempe featuring awesome cars. What's up, guys? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Can you introduce yourself?
My name's Jesse Robles.
Phil Robles.
Jesse and Phil, thank you so much for letting us into your shop. You have some really beautiful builds. This one I've actually had a chance to see at the SEMA show a couple years back, and it actually won the Gran Turismo Award, right?
That's correct, yeah, 2017.
And the award is right here.
Yeah.
Best in show. Amazing.
Very, very unexpected.
You've actually done a couple updates to it since then, and that's kind of why we wanted to feature it also on video. Tell us a little bit about this project.
Well, for SEMA, obviously, and I know it happens to everyone, it's kind of a scramble to get there all the time. So we originally planned on having the car boosted for SEMA, have the car complete. It actually didn't have a Bluetooth drive shaft or anything like that. It actually ran when we took it to SEMA. It was NA. We had the Quave Sequential gearbox already installed in the car. And we're kind of in the process of trying to get some things sorted out on it, but we were fortunate enough to make it run probably 3 hours before we had to leave town to go to SEMA. And after SEMA, you know, that was a blow up. I mean, winning the Gran Turismo Award was just like super, we were super stoked on that. And when we got back, we pressed on with boosting the car. So it went from like, you know, kind of a stock K24A2 to a boosted K24A2 GTX 3076 Gen 1 turbo. Puts out 420 horses.
420.
320 foot-pounds of torque. So it doesn't seem like, I mean, a lot of people don't think that that's a lot of horsepower, but when you ride in a car that's got power to weight that this car has, it weighs probably 2380 with me in it.
It's a light car.
I mean, yeah, to kind of put it in perspective, not with this chassis, but with this one, we actually did a legit drag race at a drag strip. And that motor put out like 550 horsepower and 536 foot-pounds of torque. And even with, you know, that like having over 100 more horsepower, this car actually beat me in a drag race.
All right, so we kind of touched on this a little bit before we started filming, but you look like a typical Honda owner. But your dad doesn't look like, I mean, in that.
So you're saying I'm a hot rod guy?
Yeah, you don't look like a typical Honda guy.
All right, let me kind of back up. I was like an American hot rod guy when I was growing up back years ago. But my very last tour in the Air Force before I retired happened to be Okinawa, Japan. So we went for a 3-year tour to Okinawa. Most awesome island ever, and the inspiration there for, and well, as you know, anywhere in Japan, the car scene is just absolutely crazy. So that kind of evolved, you know, and we started really appreciating the Japanese builds. Honda's not. You know, it's crazy because Nissan, Toyota kind of rule the world in Japan. Honda's a much smaller community, but when we got here and we just happened to fall into a couple of friends that were tracking, the Sterling boys back in the day were tracking out at PIR with NASA Arizona. And I bought this as a daily driver from Jesse, and it slowly evolved from my daily driver to and from work to a track car, DE track car. And from there, it went all the way through the D1, 2, 3 into time trial. So this was a time trial car for many years. A small bore time trial, big bore when I converted it to K series. and it did very well.
So okay, so that brings us to the connection. I guess we have a little bit of a connection. In Okinawa, you actually met one of my good friends, which actually was your good friend before, Ross Petty of Boso Garage right here, or Garage Boso. It's like it's just such a small world in that
Oh yeah, totally.
aspect. I mean, because so you guys together as friends in Okinawa like started building cars, started getting into the culture, or
Well, yeah. I mean, we were so young that we were not even into cars. We were into rollerblading, skateboarding too. Ross and I used to drift his mom, Patty's minivan, and then just slowly, like, got into cars together at the same time,
and that is a hotbed. That's a hotbed of good memes right there that you gave us. That's so good. And you said you have footage or you have pictures of you guys rollerblading?
Yes, I can definitely. I'll send them to you so you can cut to the clip if you want. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we're at a place called Sanabe Sportsland, actually, where they race these little pocket bikes down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I brought back a couple.
Because this is a cool shop, and it's one of those things where I see a lot of inspiration from like Japanese shops that I've visited in Japan, and you've kind of brought a little bit of that flair here with all the trinkets and banners and stuff like that. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So what did this start life as? What year?
92 CX Civic. It's still, I think when I bought the car, it had an LS swap in it, right, Jess?
It had
Had an LS non-VTEC
Oh,
LS
okay.
1.8.
Right. Okay, out of like the Integra?
Yes, out of the Integra. And then I swapped that for a B18 JDM GSR motor, and I drove that for a while, and that was a great motor. And then we decided finally to go to the K series, and once we went to the K series, it made it really, really lively. When you add that much power and you got a track car, you have to make a lot of changes. We did suspension changes, and I realized that there were not very many tires available in a 15-inch wheel for a car that put down that kind of power.
Oh, okay. So it's actually kind of rare to see.
So those are 17 9.5 plus 12.
Wow.
So that's a very, very aggressive wheel. And that's on a 245. That's like a street. That's a street tire right now. These are all the other wheels and tires that we ran on the car.
Oh.
And they're all those are they're all Hoosiers, 245, 40, 17s. That's a front set that we have. That's a 275, 35. That fits on the front of the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are DOT race slicks.
They are DOT. They're A7s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Treadwear 40. There you go.
Right.
See.
Treadwear 40.
So you need that much traction in the front to kind of put any power down with this.
Personally, I think so. I mean, if you've got that kind of power and you don't have grip, I mean, you're fighting a losing battle, And we were going through tires like crazy on the 15-inch side. So played around with the gearing a little bit. And then we decided to boost the car well, all the Honda people out there know when you start boosting a K series, you have transmission problems. So the way we cured that is we went with a 5-speed Quaife sequential gearbox. So this has a Quaife sequential gearbox in it. It's got a spoon 1.5 way clutch pack diff in it. So it's a lot of fun to drive, but it's really, really noisy.
I love that. I love that you're a true car guy.
I love the noise.
That it blows my mind. That's the cool thing about this culture. It just transcends.
It does.
Generations and race and whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're a car guy, you're into this. It's like you're my friend. We're friends already. Just like
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
I was so honored to be in the Rays booth. That's when I won the Gran Turismo award. Is I got invited to be in the Rays booth at SEMA. Celebrate! And it's just like that completely blew my mind. That they said that there were very few Hondas that ever ended up in that booth.
So, and that's kind of one of the things also with this wheel and tire setup. you can actually fit way bigger brakes.
Way
too.
bigger brakes. That's a custom Dan fan from our crew racing. He designed the whole brake system for the car.
The clearance is crazy.
The clearance, it takes a 5mm spacer, honestly, to be able to clear that brake, and it's got the same set. It's got running a rear Brembo setup too, all floating rotors.
You could fit barely like a sheet of paper, a business card.
It's a tiny piece of paper. Okay, that's all it is.
Yeah. And part of the whole appeal of this car is that you put a Pandem kit.
I'm not going to say we were the first ones to have it, but we ordered that kit early on when it was available. Because if you go back and look at like some of the Speed Hunters things that I did, and then back in 2010 I was featured also in the Honda Super Street magazine. You'll see that I kind of had to modify things to make clearance for a much larger wheel and tire package when it was still running 15s then. And then we decided to go 17s. Well, a lot had to happen to the car to get the center of gravity down. We had to tub the rear. We took about probably 4 inches of sheet metal out of the rear, tubbed it. This is actually not a stock fender. This is actually a charge speed fiberglass front fender that I originally ran on.
And you made it even wider.
And then we made it a little bit wider. We tried to add as much room for the front setup as we could. Yeah.
This is what I love. Also, is how much was this car originally when you bought it?
I think you bought it off me for $2,500.
Yeah. $2,500?
Maybe $2,500 or so.
And then many thousands of dollars and hours and your life later. Like you probably didn't even have a beard by then, and then now
I was going to shave for you, but I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the engine bay. There's just so much to look at here.
Okay, so it's a stock K24A2. It's actually got stock internals. We did baffle the oil pan. It's a high-tech baffle system. We're running 1,000cc injectors, ID injectors, GTX 3076 turbo. As you can see, this is still in work. We're going to do a booster delete because all of the brake lines are just way too close to the manifold. So our next project that we're working on is deleting all those lines and we're going to run a full boost delete with a prop valve so that we can actually, right now if I was to take this car on track, I'd probably flat spot the rears because I've got so much rear brake. It's a very aggressive brake setup. But yeah, it's 420 horses like we said and 325 foot-pounds of torque, and it's quite lively.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me to think that in that trim that you had it at SEMA, it already won the Gran Turismo Award, and you're still planning on making it crazier.
We're still planning on making it crazier, absolutely. I mean, you know, car guys, come on now. You know, we can't leave stuff alone. Yeah. We've got to keep evolving. You know, there's ways to make cars. That's why all of the records all over the country are falling, is because people are getting smarter. They start developing the cars more and more. They figure out neat tricks for mechanical grip. Suspension tuning. There's so much out there. The aerodynamics, everything. So who doesn't want to go faster?
Yeah, I mean, this chassis in general, it's been around for 30 years. Yeah, it's an old chassis.
Super old.
And why not, make it this crazy?
Absolutely.
Why not make it this fast? So let's check out the interior. All right. Oh, there you go. Also,
yeah.
Okinawa, Hawaii since 1999. That is so cool.
To get myself in the right seating position, I had to extend this a lot, and I also added a Works bell quick release, just to make it easier when you've got your helmet and all your gear, your Hans device, everything. It makes it easier to get in and out of the car. AMMXL2 data logger, so AMMXL2 download. I can download all the data right here on the dash. Quaife sequential gearbox.
This is so cool.
Yeah,
I cannot believe that.
That's actually a Geartronics. This is your strain gauge here. Pull back on it. It's run by a Geartronics ECU. So when you flat shift, you just pull back on it. It does
Really?
it does a shift cut for you. Yeah, it does.
I couldn't
know.
imagine flat shifting a Honda.
And you know, it's weird because they don't recommend that you you do a throttle blip on a front wheel drive car. I don't know why they just say that you shouldn't do it. So, I mean, you don't really make money on the downshift anyway with a throttle blip. You know, although it sounds really cool, like when you're in a GT3 or something like that, they sound so good. But the up flat shift, that's money right there. Makes the car feel and go fast.
I like that you guys kind of updated the stock dash.
I did.
You know, put a couple things on it and like.
Yeah, all this is delete. This is just a skin now. There's really nothing. There's really nothing under the dash. I can take the dash out, quick disconnect on the AIM dash, take the dash out in just a few minutes. You know.
It's so clean. Oh, and then the ECU down here.
Honda, of course. Yeah.
But like all of this gusseting and cage work and everything.
Yeah, that's a local guy that did the cage work. He's Kent Porter. He moved to South Dakota, unfortunately, but he used to be he built a lot of cages for NASA. He also certified race cages. So he built this for us a long time ago and did a marvelous job on it.
I mean, like the beads, everything was just so
Everything's
clean.
so clean. I know.
The fitting, the fitment. I mean,
Yeah.
this is. It's so
it's all-
close.
it's got
I
all-
can't believe how close this is.
Right here, it's welded. It's welded to the roof right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, welded to the roof here, and it's actually I've got welds on the floor here too. That actually welded to the side of the chassis as well as
Where did you guys paint this then?
A local guy painted it for me. Yeah, that's one thing that we don't do. We don't have a paint booth here, so I relied on somebody to do the interior paint for me years ago. El Camino, it's an old shop that's been around here for a long time, and then Eleven's paint shop. They did the exterior paint on the car. They actually painted both of these cars. They painted this car and my car to get it ready for Dylan and company over there. Did a lot of work on this car hours before we were supposed to be at SEMA. So when we were at SEMA, I think it still smelled like wet paint.
Well, you guys did a really, really good job. It's so
Thanks.
clean in here.
Thanks.
This is like how a race car should look.
It should. I mean, they're they shouldn't be dirty and nasty. They should be. You shouldn't mind jumping in them.
Wow. All right, so let's check out the outside a little more. I love these JDM visor things. Tell me about the wing.
That's part of the Pandem kit, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. The whole kit's part of the Pandem kit.
It's so amazing. I say this in every single video that features any of Mirasan's work. I don't know if he realizes how much he's changed car culture in
gosh.
general. Like he doesn't even try in a way, but I mean, he's just so talented. He's a computer genius. That's what I say. And he could build these cars in the digital world even before any nut and bolt, anything gets turned. And then it goes to people like you who actually make it in real life.
What's amazing about this kit is how well it fits. I mean, Jesse and I installed the whole kit ourselves, and when we laid the panels up there, it's almost like you knew exactly where it was supposed to go because the design was so good that you didn't have to, there was no guesswork in it. There was no trimming, you didn't have to do anything. You just fit the car on the contour of the body and you said, okay, that's where it goes. Boom, 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 boom. Nail it, so yeah, super cool.
I noticed you have a lot of carbon bits on this car. Is this all custom made?
This is actually a Jay's Racing hood that I chopped. I did the bad thing and I chopped it all up. All these are top stage bits from, it's Freddie Carbon from Australia. He works on a lot of the World Time Attack cars. Well, he produced this kit and I saw it on the JDM yard, Time Attack Civic. I said, that's a perfect setup for boost. We decided to do a hood exit.
Yeah, it already looks crazy.
Yeah.
But then you see this and it's ready to party.
It's ready,
Like, this
it's
thing
ready
is-
to party and light some fires.
Yeah. So tell us about this. This is,
Aerospec Racing. Yeah, Brad from Aerospec Racing did this for me. And then he's not done. This is like phase one. Now we're going into phase two where we're gonna, like we were talking about before, developing aero. So it needs some more finishing pieces, and he's on board to get that done too.
I mean, because like this, it's
Full
functional.
carbon. It's functional.
Full
Yeah.
functional, and
Full
it's gonna,
functional, but it can be a lot better. The design can be a lot better.
So, I mean, you guys built such a crazy car. What are you guys actually going to use this for?
To pretty much just do like fun, like almost like party events, I get, like, you know, like grid life and stuff like that. Nothing too serious, really. I mean, you know.
I don't know. We could show up to a global time attack event sometime. No pressure, but
Whatever class it lands in.
it
like,
does.
You know. And
I've done many of the VTEC Club events.
yeah. VTEC Club is
That's one of my
fun.
favorite series out in California. Those guys do some really fun events. So we love going out there and hanging out with those guys, especially when they're like at Big Willow or Chuckwalla. A couple of my favorite tracks out there. I love those tracks.
It's cool that you guys actually use the things that you build.
I know it doesn't, right now they probably don't look at them. They look like really shiny, but if you go back a few years and you see the car when it was in track form, it didn't look as good as this. 11s really did a turnaround on this thing when they painted it. It's like, I almost didn't, you can still see all the little hammer marks from the days on the track, you know?
Oh yeah.
That you just can't take that out of a carbon hood unless you paint the whole thing, you know? And I just like the rawness of having some carbon, you know?
I love it. Really good job, guys. Let's take it out. Let's take it out for
Let's
a little
do
ride.
that.
So you actually have to take out a seat from one of your other cars.
Yeah, I'll swap it in real fast.
To put it in so I can actually sit in it. Otherwise, I'll have to just hold on to the roll cage. Which, honestly, it's not my first time holding onto a roll cage. So,
I bet it isn't.
Is that the same car?
That's the same car. Yep.
And
That would have been right around.
is that the same car?
No, this is
no,
another
this is
car
different.
that Jesse had.
This is the same car.
That's the same car.
Man, so you've had a lot of seat time behind it.
I've had a lot of seat time behind this thing. Yeah, that was back in my like DE, probably HPDE 2 days or so with NASA. Yeah, and then we have a couple organizations here where we're very fortunate to have Pro Auto Sports here, NASA, the Arizona chapter, the Arizona region, and yeah, I've been with those guys forever, man.
Very cool.
I'm sure they probably wonder where I went.
Let's hear this thing.
Sometimes it'll fart one out the gate.
I love it when I fart ones out the gate. Damn, AO48 sticky boys. One more time. Oh. I didn't even notice this. It says enjoy it, motorsports, Honda. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's so JDM. Oh, we're gonna enjoy it all right. Don't worry.
Enjoy it right now.
Oh, we're gonna enjoy it right now. Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
there's long arms. Long arm
Got it.
Harry.
All right. Here we go.
All right. Let's hopefully it
The
starts.
EG. Oh, this is so cool. Sir, I can't believe you have that. Is just
Yeah.
that is amazing. In a street car?
It's a street car.
Oh,
It's a show car.
so I don't know. This is not like any show car that I've been in. Oh my god.
I got blinkers, man.
It sounds pretty good actually.
Those pads. Man.
Yeah, I like those pads. Race. Oh, that spoon 1.5 plate. Oh my god, this thing is so fast! I can't believe it sounds like that.
Cool, right? Got the gate right there. I don't know.
I can't believe the noise that comes from that
Oh,
thing.
you know those lovely noises of like straight cut gears and a clutch pack diff and I don't know, all the noises, dude. That's what I love about this car. The fact that it's super rigid also, you know, the cage it intensifies all the feedback too. That's just marvelous. Race car sounds, man. Can't get enough of them. Can't get enough of them.
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Dude, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Larry. You're awesome.